Hi, you guys. I'm Phil Town from Rule 1 Investing. Today, we're going to be talking about 5 red flags that you should be really watching out for when you're looking at a business to invest in. All right, Warren Buffett, you guys, has always said the first rule of investing is don't lose money. And that couldn't be more true. The reality is great investing isn't simply a game of finding amazing winners. It's really not, weirdly, not about that at all. It's mostly about avoiding the losers. Now, what specifically should you look out for? Well, there's 5 really big red flags that I see, time and time again. So let's run through them and make sure that you don't fall victim to these things because they're really obvious. The first red flag is a basic one. It's all too common. It's got nothing to do with the business. It has to do with you, basically overestimating what you know, what you don't know. It's you not understanding the business. That's the problem. And here's the rule. Never invest in a business you do not understand. I know this really means different things to different people when you're thinking about what is understanding. All right, so let's talk about that a little bit. You need to understand the business well enough to know how it actually makes money. What drives the growth? What are the risks that this company is facing in the future? What's the competition? You want a pretty good understanding of what the problems are that CEO and his team deal with every day. Now, some investors hear this kind of stuff and they think, yeah, well, I'm just not smart enough to get that. I don't know what's going to go on in Chipotle's boardroom, right? But often it's not a matter of being super brilliant or anything. It's just a matter of being clear about it. Because here's the truth. If a business is genuinely a good business, then management should be able to explain that business to us clearly enough in their annual reports. And if you read the annual reports going back 5, 6, 7, 10 years, and you can't explain what they do and how they turn a profit, this might not be your fault. It might be that the management team doesn't want you to know. Now, there's a red flag, right? So that said, Warren Buffett said he puts businesses in the too hard category all the time. He's actually got a box on his desk and it says too hard. And this guy's a genius. So what he's done and what I do and what you should do is you create a circle of competence. Inside that are the businesses you understand, and then you stay away from the edges of that circle. Now, knowing what you don't know is as important as knowing what you do know. So please, you guys, be humble. It's amazing how novice investors usually aren't. The reality is, in investing, you don't get points for guessing, and you don't get points for rolling the dice. You get points for investing in a business that's inside your circle of competence. You don't want to be outside that circle. Being outside the circle is a little bit like driving at night with no headlights. Might be fine for a while, but the moment things get rough, like when the economy shifts, when the numbers dip, when the story changes, you're going to find yourself in real trouble emotionally because you're not going to know what to do. Now, the short of it is this. Understanding the business is not optional. It's the foundation of any rational investment decision. If that foundation isn't solid, nothing else matters. When you're just starting out, really keep to simple businesses. I can understand motorcycles and burritos. Stick with the basics. Don't be getting into stuff that's hard to understand. And dive in deep and really, really get good at what you're looking at. Okay, now moving on to the second thing, and that is a CEO who's in it for themselves in the short term. Super dangerous. We are long-term investors, and you put somebody in charge of a company that can ruin it because they're looking at the short term, they can destroy even a great investment, at least in the short run. In the long run, though, a great business will still work out, and that's really good news because we never know for sure what these CEOs are going to do. Warren likes to say, you want a business that's so simple an idiot can run it because someday an idiot will, all right? Now, the idiot that Warren's talking about is usually somebody who's out to make a killing for themselves in the next 2 to 3 years, and the way they're going to do that is really consistent out there. They're going to start buying up other companies like crazy. They're going to hype up some great new product in a whole new industry. They're going to be paying themselves a fortune and borrowing the money to do all of that. So how do you know you have an idiot at the helm? Really easy. You'll see return on invested capital, ROIC, getting worse and worse. You're going to see debt getting higher and higher. And this superstar wannabe, he's going to be out there constantly pitching the next big thing. He's going to be making flashy acquisitions. They're going to be doing fluffy interviews. You listening to all this stuff, you don't even know what he's talking about. And promising revolutionary breakthroughs, those are always just around the corner. And a great big idiot clue is when the CEO does an interview that explains absolutely nothing. So if you're sitting there wondering if maybe you're stupid because you didn't understand a thing that CEO said, it ain't you. From there, the third red flag. Okay, this is the one that trips up investors all the time, and that's buying into a business that doesn't have a competitive advantage. We call that a moat, right? You guys have been watching this stuff. You should be thinking of a business like a castle that's protected by a deep, wide, alligator-filled moat. That moat can be maybe a monopoly, it can be maybe a low-cost manufacturer, it could be a flywheel network effect where more customers create more customers, or it could be the prohibitive cost of switching over to a different product or supplier. If there's no moat, it's like Troy. I'm going to Greece in a little while, so I'm thinking about Troy. You know, like in the Brad Pitt movie, no moat. Troy got crushed in the Brad Pitt movie, and then it got rebuilt, and then at least 5 other times that archaeologists know about, that place got leveled. And you don't want your business to be Troy. You want a business that has a big moat. If you don't have a moat, you can't defend the city, your profits. Now, it might look great today. Revenue's up, margins are healthy, but as soon as competition rolls in, all of that can disappear, just gone, and that's the nature of capitalism. There's the beauty of capitalism, the pain of capitalism. Competition means prices get cut, customers leave and go to somewhere else. The economics can fall apart fast. If anyone with money can come along and replicate what your business is doing, your business sucks. No offense. We want the opposite of that. We want a great business. We want companies that have such good moats, they can raise their prices without losing any customers. Here's a couple of examples. Netflix. I mean, they've raising their prices all the time. Lululemon, Coca-Cola, Monster, Ferrari, Porsche, Ford trucks, iPhones, Macs, even Big Macs, and Chipotle burritos. So all kinds of things, all kinds of companies can have big moats. But before you invest, ask this question. Can this business protect its profits? What would stop a competitor from stealing the customers? And importantly, could the company raise its prices tomorrow and still retain you, their customer? Now, if you can't answer those questions with confidence, you guys are looking at a business with no real economic advantage, and that's a big red flag. The next flag that can very often trip up an investor is when a company, they got a lot of debt. We were just talking about that, right? The CEO's stacking up debt. Well, some companies, the first time you look at them, they have a ton of debt. And I'll make this easy. Debt kills. It's the main thing that can take a business into bankruptcy where all the shareholders, that's us, get wiped out, even if the business comes out of bankruptcy and does great. Don't do debt personally, and don't buy businesses with a lot of it. If their debt is greater than a couple of years of earnings, forget about it. I'll give Mr. Buffett the last word on this one. If you're smart, you don't need to borrow money. And if you're dumb, debt will ruin you. That's you and your business. All right, and finally, the last flag that I want to talk about, big red one, is not knowing what the business is worth. This one is classic. This is what Wall Street does all day. They just buy stuff. Well, it's been going sideways for 2 years. It's probably going to go up, or it's been going down, so now it's no good anymore. Ridiculous. Price and value are different. Here's the truth. If you don't know what a thing is worth, you don't know if the price is high or low or just right. You go to a garage sale, you know better than that. You see a violin for $500, you know if that's a great deal or you don't, right? You need to know enough about violins to know that the value of that one is, more than 500. It could be worth 500,000, or it could be worthless. One of our students makes a really nice living buying mink coats at garage sales, and she sells them on eBay. She knows her fur coats, so she knows when she's getting a big margin of safety, where she can buy it, clean it, sell it for profit even if it doesn't clean up perfectly. And even the best fur coat could be a bad investment if she pays too much, because she won't be able to sell it for what she paid. So just like that, even the best business can become a bad investment if you pay too much for it. When a company gets hyped up, everything's going great, its stock price can run way ahead of its actual value. The business might still be growing, it might still be profitable, Might still be run by a great CEO, but what if you're paying 5 times more than it's worth? That's what people are paying right now for Tesla. They're paying about 5 times more than the business is worth as a car company. Now, for that to work out, Tesla can't just be a car company. It has to also be a robotics company and a self-driving car company. And man, I hope they are. I love their company. I think Elon Musk is amazing. But that's speculating on what is unknown and unknowable in the future. And we don't do that. Other investors do. They try, and some of them are very successful at it, but it's not what Warren Buffett does. And it's not what I've done to make my fortune. We make money in a different fashion. We calculate the fair value of a business is, and then we wait until we can buy it well below that price. And that's our secret. When the market adjusts back to normal, we bought it cheap and now we make money. Buffett taught me this, and the key, he said, is to always insist on a margin of safety, meaning you only buy a business when it's trading as a stock for less than what that business is worth. And we like to have a substantial margin of safety, about 50%. So we have to have that margin of safety because why? The future is uncertain. Even when we are as certain as we can be, the future is always uncertain. But by getting the business at a discount to fair value, we protect ourselves from things like the growth is suddenly slowing, we have a recession, margins are compressing, interest rates start rising. So if you're thinking of buying a business at a price where everything has to go perfect just to justify the price that you paid, that's not how to play this game if you want to win the Financial Independence Award quickly. So before you hit buy, ask this. Am I paying a reasonable price based on the predicted future cash flows that I'm predicting? Would I still want to hold this business if the price dropped 30% tomorrow? Am I good? Or am I just chasing the crowd here? Because no matter how good the business is, if you overpay it, you leave yourself no room for error, and that's a big red flag considering basically the unpredictability of real life. So there you guys have it. 5 major red flags that Warren Buffett never is ignoring, and neither should you. And if you're serious about learning how to spot these red flags in the numbers and mastering the full Buffett-style Rule 1 investing approach, man, I would love to invite you to our free 3-day in-person investing workshop happening once a year, September 12th to 14th this year, right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Over 3 full days, you're going to work directly with me and my Rule 1 coaches. We'll walk you through the entire investing process step by step, how to read financial statements, how to value a business, most importantly, how to avoid the biggest mistakes investors commonly make. And this is our way of passing this knowledge along that changed my life, so we don't have to sell anything. We don't sell anything to you guys. This is just teaching and learning. This is the #1 investing workshop in the world. And if you'd like to grab your free ticket, just click the link on the description or the pinned comment below, or scan the QR code on the screen. We would love to see you there. It's going to be really fun. And as always, thank you for watching. Now go play.